I tried it with the generator, but it's just not enough. I turned it up to 180 amps, and it actually started welding right here. All those are just attempts to weld there. The stick stuck there. The stick actually got glowing hot at one point once it stuck on there. Yeah, that's what happens when it sticks. You want to get it unstuck, otherwise the whole rod will melt on you. Yeah, it did actually start to weld right there. And it penetrated all the way through. You can see where it penetrated right there. So that one actually, that weld actually worked with the generator. But 180 amps on this, there's no digital readout on this. It's just a knob. It goes from 20 amps to 200 amps. And then I was just using the cheesy ground clamp that comes with it. I did clean off the surface on both sides real good for the clamp to get on there. But I don't think I cleaned it very good, you know, on both sides of this. It might weld better, but still 180 amps. Now this is the rod size. I have a 332 E6013. If I go down to a smaller size, it might work with this. It says AC 70 to 105 amps AC DC operating current. It should have worked with the generator, but I just don't think the generator has enough amps or wattage to run this properly. So what I'm going to do is I figured out how I'm going to be able to hook this up to the house. So I'm going to try it. That'll be next, and see if I can get this to weld like it's supposed to, like I've seen on other videos. And plus I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the clamp, the grounding clamp on this. Harbor Freight has one for like $8 that I've seen other people swap out, and it works a lot better. Okay, so the generator, I did plug it in to the 30 amp side. As you saw in the previous video clip, that I've made this adapter and put it on there so I could run it with the generator. And just to be on the safe side, I put in a ground rod, because I do have this on the stand here. The ground actually comes off the actual metal case that the generator's on. Just to be on the safe side, I went ahead and hooked up the ground cable to the grounding point on that 30 amp plug inside. And then I just stuck this in the ground just to make sure I wasn't going to have any problem, because when you're working with 220 it is dangerous, so just be advised. Don't do what I do. So the generator didn't work as well as I wanted to. I probably could. This is like almost an 1/8 inch thick material, maybe 3/16 inch of thickness. It should work with this angle iron. It needed to be cleaned a lot better, I believe. This is paint on the other side, so you see how that might not work. I did clean this side, but just with sandpaper. This end of it I cleaned with my drill motor with a sanding disc attached to it. It cleaned pretty good, but I don't think this grounding clamp's all that great. So I think I could make some improvements to this to still use the generator on just small things, you know. It's nice to have it portable where you don't have to have it plugged into a house. You can just use a generator. Anyway, it was an experiment, but now we're going to hook it up to the big boy, the house 30 amp, and then we'll we'll test this out doing it that way. All right.